Hi, my name is Ryan Kramer, and I'm here to give you a quick overview of ProcessWire 2. I'm going to start by explaining what ProcessWire is and why it's here. Then we're going to move to the computer and take a look at some parts of the system. ProcessWire is a content management framework that is geared towards the needs of designers and developers and their clients. Unlike other platforms, ProcessWire aims to be an extension of what you already know about web development, rather than something completely different. It's designed to make sense of your existing workflow of markup style sheets, JavaScript, and be compatible with your processes. In fact, it's built to put your process on caffeine and accelerate the power of what you already do, which is kind of where the name ProcessWire came from. ProcessWire is designed to be powerful and scalable without the complexity present in so many other systems. It's built to be as much of a developer tool as it is a front-end management tool, and it aims to streamline the developer's process rather than change it. The system's foundation is its API, and a lot of effort has been put into making this API as easy and familiar as possible. If you're a jQuery user, you'll find that the API is especially familiar. From the web developer perspective, ProcessWire is focused exclusively on managing content, and it doesn't get mixed up into trying to manage your markup, style sheets, and so on. Instead, it gives you the tools to get and find your content as easily as possible, and then let you determine where it goes and how you want to output it. This is different from most other CMS platforms, which cross that line into the developer's process. All of this means there's a lot of inherent simplicity in ProcessWire, as it doesn't force you to relearn another system for what you already know. You'll see the effect of this simplicity in the developer API as well as the admin interface. Given these factors, ProcessWire also lends itself very well to the needs of designers, as the system places no limitations on a site's design. For the same reasons, ProcessWire lends itself very well to delivering XML or JSON web services. With that introduction out of the way, let's take a look at the admin control panel. If you've used other CMS products, you'll notice how minimal the admin control panel interface is. This is by design. We wanted an interface that was always focused on just the task at hand and emphasized that this is not a social network, news portal, or Navy ship engine room, but a tool for managing your site. The first thing you see after logging in is a sitemap view of your top-level pages in a hierarchical structure. You can navigate through this hierarchy by just clicking any page, at which point it will show its children or subpages. This pages view is of course Ajax driven, so it scales well to sites that have thousands of pages. And there's no limit to how large or deep you can grow this hierarchy. Typically, this pages view is consistent with the hierarchy used on the front end of your site. That means there's always a logical organization that makes sense to anyone that edits the site. This is unlike many other CMS products that place you in an environment that really is completely foreign to the front end of the site. Whereas when clients use ProcessWire for the first time, the structure and organization makes sense to them immediately. Of course, this pages view is more than just a sitemap. It is the means by which we edit, create, select, view, or move pages. For instance, you may have seen me move a few pages while I've been talking. Pages can be moved or sorted within their current parent, or they can be moved anywhere else in the site hierarchy. ProcessWire also provides a trash page, enabling you to remove pages from the site simply by dragging them to the trash. When dealing with a larger scale site, you can feasibly have thousands or tens of thousands of pages. ProcessWire will paginate pages in this view once you get past 100. Throughout the site, you'll see scalability is part of what ProcessWire is all about. It maintains the same level of simplicity, whether you're editing a small site with a few pages or a large site with 20,000 pages. Now let's take a look at the page editor. I'll get there by clicking the edit link for the page I want to edit. And once I get there, I have a set of fields to edit unique to this page's template. In fact, all fields in ProcessWire are custom fields, so the type of data carried by any page is 100% definable. ProcessWire comes with more than a dozen different field types, covering the range from simple text and number input fields to multiple selection, rich text, relational page references, and more. All these field types are plugin modules, so there really are no limits to the types of data you can use in ProcessWire. The fields that appear on the page you are editing directly correspond to the fields assigned to the page's template. So depending on the type of page you are editing, you may see very different fields and tabs. There are also a few built-in fields on every page. These include the page's title, URL name, template, status, and access roles. Also included is the Children, aka Subpages field, where you can add new pages or traverse the sitemap below the current page. One of the most common fields on a site is the text area. The field you see me editing is such a field, but with the rich text editing mode turned on. Notice how easy it is to add links and insert images. When you resize an image in this field, ProcessWire creates a new copy, resized and resampled from the original source image. That means there's no loss of quality whether you're resizing up or down. Some sites require more fields than others, and ProcessWire scales beautifully to the need. Here you'll see the page editor for a template that has fairly broad content management needs. Notice the wide range of fields and combinations of fields present here. One field type in ProcessWire is the Field Set tab, which you see used on this site to separate pricing and comment sections into separate tabs. So now that we've looked at a few examples of the page editor, let's take a look at where all those fields came from. As I mentioned before, nearly all fields in ProcessWire are custom fields, and these are defined in the Admin Control panel under the Setup tab. The Setup tab contains templates and fields, which are closely related to each other. A template refers to both a file and a group of fields that are assigned to one or more pages, and fields refer to the individual fields you saw in the page editor, which may be assigned to one or more templates. Let's look at fields first. You can create a new field just by clicking the New link at the bottom of the field screen, or you can edit an existing field just by clicking on it. Each field has a type which refers to a field type plugin module. By default, ProcessWire comes with field types for numbers, text, text area, checkboxes, radio buttons, comments, dates and times, email addresses and URLs, field sets, tabs, files, images, and page references. And that's just for starters, as many more are on the roadmap. Each of these field types has different configuration options according to the need. For example, a text-based field will give me the option of applying runtime formatters to it, like Markdown or an entity encoder. A text area field will give me the option of using TinyMCE to make it a rich text editor. And a page reference field will ask me to supply the criteria for which pages it can refer to. But you don't need to remember any of this. ProcessWire makes it easy to add and edit fields. Now let's look at templates. A template is a group of one or more fields that exist on each page using that template. It's also a PHP or HTML file that you've uploaded to your site's templates directory. To say it another way, a template is both a group of fields and a file that uses those fields. Now, a template file can be as simple as an HTML file or as complex as a controller for another application. But the template's goal is to produce the rendered output of a page, and most often the fields assigned to the template correspond to the output it will render. But what the template ultimately does and what output it generates is up to you. So that gives you a lot of flexibility when you want it. These templates are managed in the Setup tab, just like the fields. To create a new template, upload its file to your templates directory and click New on the template screen. ProcessWire will let you add any of your fields to any template, and the fields you add will be present on every page that uses that template. ProcessWire also lets you drag and drop to sort these fields in the order you want them to appear in the page editor. There's also some optional advanced options for each template, such as caching, page numbers, handling of URL segments, protocols, and access control. But it's also safe to ignore these options until you need them. The last thing I wanted to show you today is the Modules tab. ProcessWire is essentially a collection of plugin modules, and this tab is where they're managed and configured. In the Modules tab, you'll see all of the installed modules, their version number, and a summary of what they do. As you can see, there are all sorts of different modules, including the field types we talked about earlier. While there are several predefined module types, new modules don't need to fall within any of these types. We can click on any module to get more information or to configure it. Though most modules don't need any configuration unless you want to change something about their behavior. To add a module, you would upload it to the Modules directory, go to the Modules tab, and click the Install button next to the module you uploaded. It's as simple as that. Thanks so much for joining me on this introduction to ProcessWire 2. To learn more, visit ProcessWire.com, and please get in touch if you have any questions or feedback. I'd really enjoy hearing from you.